This day 1,394 the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, which should be a schus for Klal Yisrael and our Yisra. Today we're doing our day Siman Reish Nun Vav, Sif Tez Zayin to Reish Nun Zayin, Sif Gimel. That's right. Call your Shvei Yer Chayovim. Let's say, call it Stock City. All people in the city have to give to all Stock City. Kachim L'Chami, there's a L'Chami saying about Basra Yodav Ches. The Oshvei Shloshim Yom. Somebody's living in the city 30 days. Kofi knows so. Litain Stock L'Kupa and Kopna Yer. We compel keep Stock to the fund together with the rest of the people in the city. Yashav Sham Shlosh Chodashim. If he's there for 3 months, Kofi so Litain Takwa. We compel give to the soup kitchen. Yashav Sham Shish Chodashim. If he's there for 6 months, Kofi so Litain Stock because since Chasim in that year, they ask him money to clothing to clothe the poor people in the city. Yosham Tishachol is there for 9 months. Kofi so Litain Stock L'Kavura. We compel give Stock for burials. Korim Basaniyim, we bury the poor people, Simlan called Stock L'Kavura, and we prepare for them all the needs for being buried. Chel Gersus Arif and Rambam. That's going to the Rif and Rambam of a Gersus Arash. But the version of the Russian Torah is the Shloshim Tamchui. After 30 days, you're ready to Chayim Soup Kitchen. Shlosh Chodashim L'Kupa, and 33 months is for Kupa. Chel Gersus Rashi. That's Rashi's version as well. We can give a reason rationale for this. Shum Nasina L'Kupa to give to the fund. Hari Yosef Gedol Tamchui to give more than to give to the soup kitchen. Tamchui Yomecha. The soup kitchen is every day when necessary. The fund is every week, and it's regardless. So somebody's not been this long, doesn't have to give the greater giving. Rambam's opposite for us, because kupa, according to their understanding, is more necessary than tamchui. The kupa laniya here, because kupa is for the people in the city. Tamchui is for the people who are passers-by. Because of Rambam, the kupa yeshtam chol mkomas. Rambam wrote the kupa there is everywhere. Only where it's necessary. It seems to me that so for somebody's living in the city with the members of his household, he's like a householder here. But somebody's living in the city with his merchandise. And his home with the members of his household. Elsewhere, as long as like a guest, I feel even lived there for a lot of time. Obviously, there was no commuter tax at the time of the Arukh HaShulchan. Tez 9. Tez 9. Kol shem elin bo lagor v'omer she'ein dato adayin l'shtakeh ba'ir adasherim yuchshel farav. All these shiurim are when he comes to check it out, to pilot ship. He doesn't have mind to yet settle in the city until he sees if it's cool with him. When he came to live, v'omer says, I plan to settle here. He can be compelled immediately. Because immediately becomes like people in the city. So to people of a new city who gathered together, in other words, they're chalutzim, again, as pioneers, they got together to live in this place. They compel each other immediately for all matters. Some say it was they say those who say that everything is 30 days. There's no rationale for that. But that's custom on account of the golos and people's impermanence. It's possible that's like it says in Choshen Mishpat, this is part of being golos. And those days, being in a community was very tenuous. Not that my heart is not away for a long time. There's nobody's going to give. The bracket says you have a Kama Shulchan Aruch Nirsham al din zeh tur. And some Shulchan Aruch says that the source of this halach is the tur ve'en. It's not. It's smackets, and it's the same mitzvah. But says the shem Yerushalmi. The Kim Chad Bisa Tzarchid Beis Chodesh. But he says bring the name Yerushalmi. And then he brought Basi Bergaf al Chadav for Pesach funds. Most chitim. Shvama. Tzchim Pesach Hamad. Or Chaim Simit Kaf Chof Tes. I'm going to give Ram Sham Shchaz Hashem Sma. The actual Shloshim Yom. The time the was a year, and now it's 30 days. Chaim Mucham Babi says that's given excessive. Tzarchi Haramah Sham. The Ramah requires. And now that's this for Duke. Yutai. Chasa Tov Shulchan. Turn Shulchan right and see Vav. Misha Lechem Makal Ear. Somebody's going, this is the commuter tax. So it's going from one city to another city for commerce. And the people in the city which is doing the commerce rule that he has to give in tzedakah. I raised the nice neos here. It's got to get to the poor people of that city. There are many people that went to that place, and they determined they should give tzedakah. Nice, and they gave. But when they could come back home, and then they have money left over, then they bring it with them, find some money, they use it for the people of their own city. And Arukh is going to explain this. Is all the two in Shulchan Aruch. There's a time of Chacham, it's a charge in the city where they made the levied against them the obligation. Thus the Chaver give it to that Samid Chacham, and he buys out according to that which he sees appropriate. Take us out right, so Perek Zayin, Megillah, the Chav Zayin. This is the explanation. The low marib stock is not talking about the permanent stock in every city. Because then one can have one city clean the other city. We're asking stock from guests who came, as is the custom. It's no shot talking about any else. We know the stock is for this city. And the camera going to Chadish 18 young boy called Devon Mageva Sharon. So you're talking about when some new calamity befell the world, such as a pestilence or a plague or some other type of decree. When you Shabbos came by Iraq Dolashim Dina, and it remained I guess he remained. With the consent of the people in a large city, so it's a decree of fast and stuck on Kol Arei Medina and all the towns in the city. Katzvu the Schum Tzedakah. No, I think that's in other words, this is the regional district capital. The Shar Beheskim here means that they were able to, by universal acquiescence, make the decrees for the entire region. And they gathered funds, and they set a specific amount of give tzedakah. According to the strict law, he can take the tzedakah which they decreed to a city. He's nullified in the majority. And he's part of the city in which he is now to be chiddush. But there are many people in the big city who came from one of the smaller cities. Then they're not batal, and then they can take the money back to their own city. But because of suspicion, that people shouldn't suspect not giving it stock at all. So they're given to the city to which they are now, but not to be spent, actually. Not to be spent. When they leave them, they take it from them, to ship in their city. But when there's a klomar gadol, a door, when the giants of generation, he's involved in all the needs of all the cities in the district. By him, what he feels that should be sent to the city, he'll send himself. It's a covered it's not covered that when they go back to the city, they should take back from him what they left him in his charge. The bracket says here, this is the intent of the Ramav, and the intent of the Shach. Let's look at Shaila Beis HaKnesses, in which she wrote that you buy a keyboard in a shul, the Tzlaka Shaila at shul, partially it's obvious. The Kasi wrote about the candles in Kippur, whatever it is, when I'm makbid. Everybody does it, the meaning of a city, that's obvious. The Ramah writes, somebody has other people's money given to him as an investment, and he's going to get half of the profit or some other accommodation. From the profit. He has to give the profit to the owner. We should say the owner will give the stock to whoever he wants. Unless there's a legal enactment in the city to give from everything he profits, even with other people's money. This question should totally take a revach lebailim, and that which it says that he has to give the revach to the owner. Also, chatzi ma'aser merevach means half the ma'aser from the profit. The mechtav is shemisase because half it is yours, the person who's doing the vesting. Lo shemisase, the club revach, unless for some reason, such as he has a set salary, he can't. He doesn't take it all part of the profit. Actually says I shach the taz. I could say interconnected. We don't have such shachars in our day and age. Duration zayin. Say their gvia tzedakah. Duration zayin. Say their gvia tzedakah must sign the order of collecting tzedakah and when it's collected. Aleph Isa Perkan Rosh Hashanah says the first paragraph Rosh Hashanah but korbanos. With korbanos not levi korban when he made a neder bring a korban chayav levi but regular Rishon got to bring the first yontif after he made the neder. Shlevi over about say he doesn't bring the first regularly he violates the mitzvah say. Shavuot shlosh regalim if he passed 3 regalim past levi he doesn't bring it over b'lav b'al tacher he violates lav b'al tacher. From Hashem it says there the gam tzedakah so it's tzedakah shenadar when he makes a neder over. About the acher, he violates about the acher, but he doesn't give it to Aniyim. When Hashem says that the tzedakah over l'alta, when tzedakah there ain't no leeway, it's immediate. Because the poor people around to which to give it. Because Rash Chidushav, Rash says out over by say, but immediately you over and say, come over the regular Rishon Kabbalah, just like you over the first yontif by korbanos. And after 3 yom time, over b'lav. About Acher, you over the prohibition about Acher, come over Karbanos, say Karbanos. Because a Kosu, because that's a Kosu. Avram Kosu Shem, the Indian Regolim Tzedakah, he says, Regolim and Tzedakah have nothing to do with each other. And Yahaver about Acher immediately violates the lav, Sheshaniyim when they're poor people. Sheshaniyim, all made over. And the other, no Aniyim present, there's no violation. Rashba, V'chein, Taisis, B'shlosh Regolim over. Tell me the Rashba, Koin Taisis, when 3 Regolim is over all the time, Upper Lake Aniyim, even there are no anim. That's a chumrah according to Rashba. Because there's kosu. There's kosu. You got to bring it like a carbon. It must go. Base. That's what I'm basically beresh kaharan. Ramos like Rash kosu at tzedakah b'chan dorim. You had tzedakah is included in the dorim. Leficha Omer I sell tzedakah. That was something else I have to give. I have to give it so. It's incumbent upon me to give itself a tzedakah, or hareya sela azul tzedakah, or this seller he designates as a tzedakah. Chayvin alim yad. It's got to give it to him immediately. If he tarried over about the acher, if I had about the acher sharei, beyond they take meyad. He can give it him because he can't get it immediately. But anim atzuyim, anim are prevalent. Hey, ain't shum anim. They're not anim present. Mafresh, you set aside umeniach, and you set it. You take it out and set it aside. Until you find poor people, etc. Doesn't mention 3 going. Possession change kind of name that which required you to separate it when there are no name present. The Yerush Paskin up here, Suya the Sham seems according to Suya. The Omer Sheyesh Trey Koid says 2 psukim. One when you set aside the carbon and didn't sacrifice it. When we set it and did not set it aside. Because it's and that's right, the 2 things. Harei sell it tzedakah, where he says the seller is incumbent upon mitzvah, zel the amar v'larfish. That's the case where he said, and did not separate. Varei sela azul tzedakah, the seller tzedakah. That's in the other case. Harei sela azul tzedakah. Point that one. Zel shlachim. That's what he said aside, but they're not sacrificing. Kluma shalos in other words, he didn't give it on you. Zeshman, that's it says, ain't shamanim mafrish maniach. Now it says the no-anim, you still have to set it aside and take it out and set it aside. Because that's the Torah's decree, lafrish, to separate it, even though you can't yet sacrifice it. Back it says, Chimash B'chesed Mishnah. Gimel v'gam atur kasek Rosh Hashanah also writes such a language. Kasem Shem Rosh writes the name of Rosh. Tavka Shemav Ishtam is only been sent inside generically. Avakol Dam Chlafrish Shemot Tzakashim Nachim Et Slowly Nam Ma'at Ma'at Mashirlo. But you can, any person can set aside money for tzedakah to be by a person to give them over time, slowly but surely, as the need arises. No, not as arises, as he deems appropriate. But it's clear that a condition, a stipulation works like any neder. Basic conditions of his net, that's how we should fulfill. Ram also it's we meet nine but stipulate Shlo Yitain Achim Tzani, he's not given to the plants and Ani, and it's doesn't even have to set aside. Now that tzedakah is not absolutely if he made a stipulation the time that he pledged the tzedakah. Volunteered it. Shua gaboyim Hashem l'shanosa that the gaboyim she allowed to change it, or change it for gold. Available terms so permissible. I'm right. So condition works. What does it mean? What's the issue of joining them together as gold? Because then it's going to see the gaboy tzedakah partim achem v'lo atzon. Normally gaboy tzedakah cannot make these changes on their own. But if we made a condition, it is okay. And that is for today.